Yeah, well, Dr. Mercola, on his website, 2012, he had a list, 12 foods you no longer eat. The first on the list were apples.
Yep, they've ruined it.
They're totally poisonous.
Yeah.
Part of the dirty dozen.
Dr. Mercola interviewed this farmer from Idaho, North Dakota, 5,000 acres. And it's really neat because he shares from his experiences of failure that really opened him up to see the importance. He calls it the armor. The soil needs armor covering, kind of thing. And it's just a phenomenal interview. It really opens you up and realizes the power of the covering and what it does.
Right.
And he was sharing how that when he came to his land, it's just basically arid, hardly any water, very short growing season. Major challenges in his first 3 years. We're talking like 5,000. He lost everything, all his grain to hail. Wow. Hail took it all out.
Took it all out. Yeah.
And so he's starting to use. They don't have trees, so he can't get wood chips grow there. But so he's planting ground covers to create covering for his ground. And he's noticing that when he first came, when it would rain, after a few minutes, the water run off because the ground's so hard it can't percolate. He's noticing after he gets this cover on there, the water's taking in. And then he's realizing that his growing seasons are longer because his plants are healthier. It's just phenomenal, the benefits. And then it was so interesting, when he first came, he said we had no worms anywhere. And he starts discovering after he puts these cover crops on, he's starting to get worms. So he has his son go out and dig an area 12 by 12 inch, by I think 2 inches deep. He finds 60 worms. It was just amazing. It was interesting his observation of worms is, worms, they create tunnels. That's how how they move. And the plant roots follow the tunnels. For two reasons. One is easy. Second is that they're lined with worm castings, which is the richest fertilizer there is, and they know.
Now, do you use worm tea?
I don't use anything because it all happens here by itself.
It's all natural, right? So you have no way to you have no need for that. It's all
when
natural.
Sunset Magazine in January 1990 did an article on my orchard. When I came here, just to give you history, I started tilling and never saw a worm because the place was so devoid of life. Prior to me becoming this is a farm they raised cattle on, and they fed the grass with chemicals. So there's no worms. And I was really bummed because that indicates how sterile your ground is if you have no worms. And so in this photograph, they had me holding up these wood chips in my hand to pick up, and these worms are just teeming out of it. It was hilarious. And I didn't put them there; they just showed up. If you create an environment, nature, adapts. It shows up. You don't have to import anything. It comes on its own. In that interview with Dr. Mercola, it's so great. Dr. Mercola is telling the guy at the end, he says, "Oh yeah, I just put like 10,000 pounds of wood chips in my yard over in where I live." He says, I'm going to put 10,000 more, and the guy just says, "Oh, wood chips." He says, "Man, they're the ultimate soil builder." He says, "They're full of carbon, and they create soil." It's just like he's talking about the incredible carbon content that you have in wood chips. It was just awesome. Tilling. This is a guy on that Mercola thing really brings out the incredible damage tilling does to the soil.
Oh yeah.
So you kill all the living organisms. Here you have like this perfect environment of all this living, and it's so interesting. Like these funguses, these myceliums and stuff, they actually will travel for miles underground, connected. And when plant roots connect to those, they access all these nutrients that all this stuff is connected for miles. The design in nature is so genius, so like, whoa! And we're out there killing it all. When you till, you kill all that order, that incredible resource.
Nice fluffy dirt.
That doesn't say fluffy.
No, it doesn't.
As soon as you're done, as soon as you walk on it, you water, it compacts. So this doesn't work.
It goes right back out of it again. Yep.
It doesn't work. And I used to tell people, I couldn't believe how hard I used to work to fail.
Yep.
I mean, I really worked hard to fail. Hard.
Incredible.
Labor-intensive work to fail.
Yep.
And just never got it because I thought, well, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Did you read? Oh, you haven't read it. Joel Salatin did the foreword.
That's just
I did see the forward already. He put that out first.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, Joel is a good writer, but he's very direct and very out there. It's awesome.
Yeah. I read that a few months ago.
Yeah, Time Magazine, it was like the most innovative farmer in the world. He's really, you know, well known. He so gets it, you know, and he's really a good communicator. It's just and again, he's very real, very out there. He's not
afraid to say it.
No, he's not afraid to say it. It's excellent. Yeah, I thought that was really nice of him to do that for David.
Yeah, he really gets using animals to take care of really everything that needs to be taken care of on the.
He has the cows going first, and he has his turkeys, his ducks, his chickens, kind of just keep rotating.
Makes sense.
You know, it started out like, you know, my readings, like he was raising horses and he was really frustrated because he had to deworm them. He didn't want to use chemicals. And he's realizing the worms are happening in their poop laying on the ground. So he designed what was called chicken tractors. We had chickens going through all these pastures, eating out all the worms in the poop. And they're discovering his pastures doing so much better with their excavating, you know, and fertilizer. And he was making like $25,000 a year on the meat because it was so good he couldn't meet the demand. It's like, it's just, I love it, man. It's like,
His neighbors were all chemical treated and everything else.
And he shares how you know, when they came to the farm, you know, it was just major depleted because of, you know, rototilling for years. And how they just totally brought it all back. It's just really wonderful.